Hello everyone and welcome back to another Minecraft update video. We have an exciting custom snapshot that's not available through the Minecraft launcher to check out today. It's for Minecraft 1.14.3. It's called Combat Testing Pending. Now I'm going to guess that if they're happy with the combat changes they're going to make in this snapshot, it'll probably be rolled into the 1.14 update. Now if you want to get familiar with 1.14.3, I made a video on this just a couple of days ago when that came out, but today what's happened is that there is a post over here on the Reddit from Jeb talking about some of the changes that they're going to make and releasing this snapshot in a custom way for us to download and check out for ourselves. The download link is here in the Reddit post. I'll link to it in the description box of this video. I also made a quick guide going through how to install it. Although the instructions are all here, sometimes it's helpful to see someone do that physically. So over on the second channel, you can grab this video and it'll show you how to install it. So first of all, let's start with why is this happening? Well, ever since the 1.9 update, known as the Combat Update, there's been a lot of controversy to whether players like this or not, and it's fair to say that the community is very divided on this. So Jeb has devised some main reasons for rebalancing this. One is that PvP is generally too slow and are not exciting. The damage per second that a player can inflict on others is often not strong enough to beat some regeneration effects that are in the game from beacons and items and potion effects, etc. And it's also said to be too hard for new players to understand. Now on the Bedrock edition of the game, there are some issues with controller inputs working with the combat mechanics. Weapons are supposed to be too similar and armor is not balanced over there. So those are the reasons for changing things up with this snapshot. The first thing I wanted to do was jump in and see what changes I could visibly see on the different items. For example, all of the values right here for armor are actually the same, so nothing there has changed. But if we go to the sword weapon, you'll see that there is a new feature called attack reach, which is like the distance it can strike at. And then the attack speed has gone from 1.6 in the previous version up to 3, so almost twice as fast. All of these swords also have a one more attack damage point as well. So then I went and had a look through all the tools, and it's only the hoe that has an attack reach, and it's actually further, it's 4, it's further than the sword. So those are the two items that have an attack reach, and all of the speed and damage here has been rebalanced. I think all of them are slightly faster or the same attack speed and slightly more attack damage. With the regular tools, it's a case of all the attack speeds have gone upwards, and the same is for damage with exception to the axe. So all of the axes have had their damage slightly nerfed, but of course they attack faster now. So you know me, learning that there is something new in the game, I went to exploit it and created this sword with an attack reach of 100, but it reaches nowhere near that far. There seems to be a maximum reach, which is 6.2 blocks. If I stand here, I can hit that one all the way over there. As soon as it's ever so slightly further away, I can't hit it, and that is 6.2 blocks. Now when it comes to a regular sword like I've got right here, the attack reach is 3.5, and if we summon this one in, I can hit it, and if we summon in that one, I can't hit it. And that's 4.2 blocks away from me. Now after testing this, I realized that if we look at the hitbox of it, it's actually a little bit further away from the center of the block, but that's less than half. So it's still slightly more than 3.5, so maybe I'm attacking from the front of my hitbox. But here's the thing, the number I'm looking at when I press F3, 20.7, is probably the center of my avatar. So if we nudge that forward a little bit as well, then the numbers probably do add up and the attack range probably is 3.5. We've gotten a little bit offbeat there, haven't we? It's turned into an episode of myth busting. Let's get back into some of the big changes. So we have the attack indicator. You can see it to the right of my hotbar. And the previous idea was that if you clicked while it was charging up, you would attack but do way less damage. That's been entirely removed. You can now just spam click and it's only ever going to actually attack when that is full. Let's get a bunch of creepers here together because there's one other feature, which is you can now just hold down click. So what I'm doing at the moment is literally holding it down, and I think this is a consideration for some of the Bedrock players who play on Pocket Edition or have controllers. I mean, that is just ridiculously easy. Alternatively, I can spam click to my heart's desire and it will just continuously attack when the attack meter has fully recharged. And if it's not clear, it's always going to deal that full amount of damage. So I can spam click, I can hold it down, or I can time my attacks each strike of the sword will do the same amount of damage to the mob. This next bit is going to be kind of irritating to show you because we have the meter in the bottom right. That charges up to 100%, but there's also a 200% charged, and it seems to be linked to the animation of the sword on the right hand side of the screen. So notice how it swings back and then it rises up again. Now when it rises up again, I believe it is 200% charged, and that allows you to do a critical hit. So now let's hold down click and continuously do this. Notice how we're not seeing any critical hits. I mean, I'm trying to time it correctly so I go downwards, but that's because we keep attacking at 100%, which is what it will do when you hold down click. But then if we wait and jump and hit, we get the critical effect. So there is like a 100%, which you'll get just by holding down click, and then if you wait, you'll be able to do a 200% attack, which is a critical hit attack. Now it says that this also applies to effects like knockback as well. So I'm going to take a regular sword, hold down click so we're 100% attacking, and let's look at how far back the creepers move from us. Not very far, right? If I do that again with my knockback sword, it looks like they get knocked back every time. So I'm not sure what Jeb quite means by that. He also mentions a couple of other enchants as well. The other enchantment is Sweeping Edge, which allows us to do one attack and hit multiple creepers. So that's a 200% attack. Now let's hold down click and go in there, and you'll see now we're actually only going to hit one of them at a time. If I wait for a second, get that 200%, and then we attack all of them. So it does indeed work for the Sweeping Edge. And as it goes, critical hit, Sweeping Edge, and knockback were all that Jeb mentioned. So that's all we get to check out on that front. I also like to mention that look at this. I'm going to spam click. The creative block breaking speed has been lowered because of this. Oh, that is amusing. And I'm going to quickly drop in, be a good YouTuber, do what my rep tells me to do, and throw a subscribe call in the middle of the video. So if you're enjoying it and you want to see more content like this, then make sure to be subscribed. Now let's get back to these update changes. So mobs used to have something known as an invulnerability timer, which means when you were to hit them, they would turn red, and then you would have to wait before you could hit them again, was the idea. That's actually been removed, and now it's entirely determined by the attack speed of the weapon in choice. So basically, as fast as it attacks is as fast as you'll deal damage. So if I go over here with the axe, you'll see it continuously damages. If I use the hoe, it continuously damages a lot faster. And yes, that is a custom creeper. It has an extraordinarily large amount of health, so I can attack it over and over again. Okay, and this axe right here that I just gave myself has an attack speed of 10. Look at that. And now 100. Whoa, it's making a load of noise. This thing really does have a lot of health. Now, it was possible to hit multiple mobs at once with a sword, but this has been removed, so the only way to do that now is with the Sweeping Edge enchantment, which would do the same thing but add more damage based on the enchantment level. It's said that shields have no warm-up delay now, so if I hold down right click, we have this animation of it going in front of me, and that seems to be the same as in 1.14.3 without the combat changes. So I'm not quite sure what that refers to, but there is one big change. If you put this in your offhand and then you shift, it would automatically block for you. Just like that. So when you're shifting, the shield will be blocking if it's in your offhand. Then I started to wonder, well, what happens if you're shifting because you're under blocks like this? As soon as I let go of shift, you can see that we lose the effect. So even though I'm crouching, I actually have to hold the key on my keyboard for it to automatically block. And last of all, a thanks to Doc for testing this with me on his server. If you critical attack a player who's blocking, it bypasses the shield and allows it to do damage. In my opinion, that's the one change that doesn't make a lot of sense. If you're going to try and attack a player, you're probably going to try and land some critical hits as well, which means the shield will probably become a little bit more mute in combat. But against regular mobs, I guess it's still very useful. So apart from that, I don't really have much of an opinion. I'm going to wait until I've played in Survival Minecraft to really form an opinion, which I might do on twitch.tv/xisumavoid on Friday. Maybe go caving for a little bit with these new combat mechanics. But anyway, this is the end of the video. If you have enjoyed it, then leave a like. As always, thanks for your support when you do that. And of course, leave a comment down below and let me know what you think of these changes. I'd like to hear your opinions. But that's the end of the video, so thanks for watching. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.